I hope you're out there staying nice and safe and contained. That's what we're trying to do here. So this is kind of an interesting video that we're going to make because last week I know we didn't upload because what I thought was a cold got much worse. And I was just too sick to do anything. Now, I was not able to get tested to see if it was corona or not because that's just where we're at right now. But I went ahead and self-contained anyway just to be on the safe side. Now, we did actually before that go to the grocery store and try to stock up because we knew we were going to be kind of in a self-containment situation, especially with me because my job laid me off just for a little bit just to try to help contain this thing. And so I decided to go ahead and just try to get all of our groceries for, the whole self-containment time in one thing, including what we were going to be making for the YouTube videos. However, it kind of turned a little interesting because the grocery store was a little bit cleaned out. So for this particular recipe, I needed ground beef. There was none, absolutely none. I don't even think there was any beef that I could have ground up to actually make ground beef. So I ended up just using ground turkey, which is totally fine because you know what? If you're in that kind of a situation, you just got to go with the flow, right? And also, I ended up having to get the most expensive flour that they had because all the rest of the flour was totally cleaned out. But that's okay because I've never tried, I like King Arthur flour, so that's good. Never tried their organic series, so hey, I got to try a new product, right? So last week, before illness kind of took over, we were actually going to make a recipe out of this cookbook. But when I got to looking at it, I realized it was so fascinating, so interesting, that I wanted to dedicate an entire month to it. That's how cool this cookbook is. Now, this cookbook is actually, I think it doesn't actually have a date on it. I'm pretty sure it was from the 1980s. My mom has had this for a long time. I grew up in Wyandotte, Michigan. That's where I was born and raised before moving to Tennessee. This cookbook was actually created as a fundraiser for the McNichol home, which if I can find a photograph of that house, I will insert it around here. And this cookbook is basically stories from residents of Wyandotte and their favorite recipes. Now, it could be recipes from generations ago that they've had in their family for that long. It could be brand new. It's awesome. And the stories before each recipe is absolutely what makes this cookbook so special. Now, I looked and you can't find this on the internet. So I was kind of sad because you guys can't buy this, which is why I wanted to dedicate an entire month to it. So maybe you can kind of, at least pick one of the 4 recipes and get a really good overview of it. Now, unfortunately, Wayne County, which is the seat of Detroit and Wyandotte, is in a really bad situation right now. I had actually decided to do this month-long series about Wyandotte before all this coronavirus started happening and everything started getting kind of out of whack. And I just found out that Wayne County accounts for over 50% of all coronavirus patients in Michigan, in the entire state, which is really sad. Their hospitals, one of which my mom worked for many years up there, is already at full capacity and is unable to deal with the amount of patients that they're getting. And it's just, that really kind of hit me hard because, it's a place where I grew up and, yeah, it's just really sad. But you know what? I decided to go ahead and do this series anyway and celebrate Wyandotte for what it is, for what I remember it as. And maybe, give you guys a really good idea of just how neat of a town that is and what a special history that it has. And maybe, for Wyandotte residents up there, It'll kind of give you something to watch, something to remember, and something to help you get through all your self-containment and quarantine that I'm sure you're having to deal with right now. So we're gonna go ahead, take a special look at Wyandotte, make this dinner, and we'll see how it tastes. Pause here to write down what you'll need to follow along. And while your potatoes are cooking, go ahead and cook your beef or turkey with your onion, salt, and pepper. Also have 2 cups of water on the stove ready to boil. And while that's cooking, let's go ahead and take a short history tour into Wyandotte, Michigan. In 1818, the Wyandotte Native Indians, a peaceful and agricultural tribe, signed a treaty with the U.S. government relinquishing land in the farming villages they'd had since 1732. Soon settlers such as John Biddle started to arrive, and by 1835 Biddle had a large farm he called the Wyandotte. In 1854 he sold it to Eber Ward, who created the Eureka Iron Company near modern Biddle and Vinewood Avenues. From here, Wyandotte could only grow bigger as immigrants from Germany, Poland, Ireland, and Italy poured into it for jobs in the steel and shipbuilding industries. Soon, Wyandotte would explode in banks, businesses, and boarding houses in an effort to keep up with the demands of the growing population. This very recipe is from a couple from Scotland, Robert and Catherine Cameron, who came to Wyandotte in 1885. Catherine, unfortunately, was not impressed with the town, but would go on to raise 10 children and make many a Mince Collops dinner. These first builders of Wyandotte would create a burgeoning upper class, living in beautiful homes, some of which can still be seen today. Now that everything is cooked through, go ahead and add your flour to the beef and mix well. Now you can add your boiling water. Simmer and stir until it becomes the consistency of a gravy that you like. And don't forget to make your mashed potatoes. I decided to keep mine plain with just milk, butter, and salt. Now all you have to do is serve it over your mashed potatoes and you have the perfect comfort dinner for any day. So we got it done. It smells really good, actually. Good. Now this is probably gonna taste a little bit different just because, you know, we had to use the ground turkey instead of ground beef. So, you know, I mean, we'll get at least still a good idea, I think, of what this recipe should taste like. So let's go ahead and dig in. Oh, wow.
I'm actually surprised. It's got a lot more flavor than I expected.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? Even with the ground turkey,
yeah,
I'm still really impressed with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could easily use the two interchangeably with this type of recipe, and you wouldn't even notice.
I really can't tell that it's ground turkey, which I expected to, because we've done burgers and stuff with ground turkey, and I can tell the difference in that. Yeah. I really can't tell the difference.
No, I think with the gravy and with the mashed potatoes and everything like that. Now, what we're going to do is, you know, it seems like, according to the book, this would be the dinner. You know, just the mashed potatoes, the onions, and stuff like that. But, you know, for us, I would probably pair this with another vegetable, maybe a good salad. You know, so if you're going, of course, our grocery store was so limited this time, you know, we kind of just wasn't really able to kind of get what we really wanted to get. But that's okay. That's, you know, just little sacrifices that have to be made. I'm not worried about that.
I wouldn't think you would absolutely have to. I mean, you've got onions as a vegetable. You've got the beef, and you've got the mashed potato. And I mean, it's not like there's just a little bit of onion. It's
it's a lot of onion,
but it's not really strong. I mean, it flavors good, but it's not.
I think you could use this just for a quick dinner. And if you just want a comfort dinner and you don't want to pair it with anything else, who cares?
Yeah,
I think you're good.
Absolute necessity.
Yeah, I mean, I am thoroughly impressed with this, and I would definitely make it again.
Yeah.
I would try it with the beef probably, if we ever get beef. Which it might be.
Eventually.
I know.
This too will pass.
I know. Yeah, it'll pass. It'll, But yeah, I would definitely try it again. I love it. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and give this 5 stars.
It's good.
I mean, this is just really good.
Yeah.
And as far as the cookbook, I so hate that, no one can pick this up if they really want it, because it's such a great cookbook. Now, this was made by the Wyandotte Historical Commission. So maybe if enough people contacted them, maybe they could do a second run of this cookbook. I think that would be awesome.
Do they have like an actual building?
Actually, yeah, you know what?
They might have a gift shop or something.
You know what? I'm going to look into that next week when we do a second recipe out of this. I will let you know what I found out.
Okay.
To see is the Wyandotte Historical Commission still open?
Yeah.
And is this something that maybe, we could get our hands on? You never know. I don't know if I would bother them now because they're
probably not open now.
They're not. I'm sure they're not open, but everyone in Wyandotte has got bigger fish to fry at this point than worrying about printing another cookbook. So, I would wait till all this is said and done and then, see if they're open and, see what can happen. But oh my gosh, if they could do a second printing of this, I would buy one. I mean, this is the only copy we have. And my mom is just letting me borrow it, by the way. I'm not allowed to keep this. So, and I'm having to be very careful with it. She gave me a really long list of instructions on like how to care for this and keep it away from everything I'm cooking just in case like splatter. I mean, it was crazy. So that's how like valuable that she thinks this cookbook is. And after reading it, I agree with her.
Yeah.
It is a very valuable thing, and it's a very cool thing. It's a snapshot of Wyandotte, and all their stories. And hate to say, but a lot of the people, judging by some of the ages that they state for themselves in this cookbook, a lot of the people who submitted stories would obviously be passed away by now. So this really is a nice historical snapshot of Wyandotte that you just aren't going to get anymore.
Right.
So absolutely love it. But we'll see what we can find out. I'll just look and see if there's a historical commission already. And after all this coronavirus is said and done, maybe we can put some pressure on them to sell another edition of this.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Really hope that you enjoyed this sneak peek into Wyandotte, some of the history, and this wonderful cookbook. We will be seeing you next week. We're going to do another recipe out of this. Now, bear in mind, there had been a lot of recipes I wanted to do, but was not able to because of how decimated our grocery stores were from panic shoppers. So I really had to cater the recipes to things that I thought you would already have on hand and things that panic shoppers didn't want.
Yeah,
and
maybe even like in the next year or so we can go visit it again with some more
definitely.
complicated stuff.
There's some other recipes in here that stay tuned because in the future we will be doing when I can get hold of the ingredients because they're so Michigan.
Oh wow.
They're so like quintessential Michigan. It's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks for watching this week and really hope you stay tuned because we have more in store and we'll see you then. Bye. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for future videos. In the meantime, here are 2 videos you may enjoy. Thanks for watching.